You walk through the heavy glass doors of a high-end boutique. The lighting is soft and deliberate. The music sets a slow, precise rhythm. Within seconds, the atmosphere works its magic. A simple leather bag resting on a pristine glass shelf commands attention. It feels important, powerful. But this animated diagram reveals the actual math behind that feeling. If you start with a $5,000 retail price tag and begin stripping away the cost of raw materials, the leather, the thread, the metal hardware, you are left with a massive, seemingly unexplained financial gap. The physical components cost a fraction of the sticker price, yet millions of consumers eagerly hand over their money to cross that gap. This massive discrepancy suggests that the transaction is about something other than leather and stitching. It is the first hint of an invisible logic that dictates how we assign value to the things we buy. To understand why that gap exists, you have to look at human evolutionary biology. For thousands of years, survival depended on your rank within a group. Ancient societies used rare shells, specific animal pelts, or elaborate jewelry to signal power to the rest of the tribe. Today, the human brain still hunts for those markers, but the pelts have been replaced by interlocking letters and designer logos. Luxury brands position their items as a status shortcut. Once society agrees that a specific logo represents success, a buyer's focus shifts from the product's utility to the way other people perceive it. A mechanical watch does not tell time any better than a smartphone, but strapped to a wrist, it acts as undeniable, unspoken proof of the wearer's position in the hierarchy. The transaction is driven by a biological craving for admiration and in-group respect. The physical object is simply the delivery mechanism for that feeling. Once the biological hook is set, the system deploys a second mechanism, artificial scarcity. Brands deliberately throttle the supply of their own products. They force eager buyers onto multi-year waiting lists, place physical velvet ropes outside half-empty stores, and release invitation-only collections. This line graph illustrates the exact psychological inverse relationship they are exploiting. As the supply drops and an item becomes harder to obtain, the emotional desire to possess it spikes exponentially. This forced scarcity works alongside a third layer of control: subconscious environmental conditioning. Every element surrounding the product is hyper-controlled. The specific color temperature of the store lighting, the slow friction of sliding open a heavy presentation box, the hushed cadence of the sales staff, and the strategic placement on celebrities. These environmental triggers tether an inanimate object to a fantasy lifestyle of wealth, beauty, and absolute freedom. By the time a customer is finally permitted to hold the item, this engineered environment has successfully overwhelmed their rational financial logic. The danger of this machine is how deeply it alters behavior. It trains consumers to conflate their internal self-worth with their external appearance. Social media acts as an extreme accelerant for this process, subjecting people to a constant 24-hour loop of high-pressure lifestyle comparisons. When the fear of looking unsuccessful outweighs the reality of a bank balance, the pressure to maintain an image becomes unsustainable. This leads some to finance a luxury lifestyle through debt, trading their future financial security for the immediate feeling of being respected. This chart tracks two paths for the same capital. In the looking rich model, money flows outward, draining into depreciating items, providing an illusion of status. The alternative path focuses on compounding assets, businesses, and investments. This model generates resources over time, providing actual, invisible security. The consumer trapped in the luxury debt cycle lives in a state of perpetual anxiety, needing the next logo to validate their status. The individual building quiet wealth operates without that pressure. Financial control provides a level of peace that a logo cannot replicate. Understanding this illusion's mechanics is the first step toward breaking its spell.